Welcome to the third episode of the Ultimate Football Podcast. The third episode, what we're going to be talking about today is, since there's not much to talk about with the transfer window and stuff.
Well, actually, Ceballos just signed an hour and a half ago, so we're winning the quadruple.
They didn't give you a loan to buy, right?
No, Perez said that he's going to talk to us about a buy next year.
Okay. Well, there's still not much to talk about, but we're gonna do like our Premier League predictions for the upcoming year because I think the window is gonna end August 8th, so there's only about 2 weeks left for teams to really sign players. So the majority of the teams have all the players they need.
Fuck me, it's literally 2 weeks exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god.
Then United have 2 players and Arsenal have 2 players. One got loaned back, the other one is loaned.
Yeah, fuck's sake, dude. Technically, we have 3. We have Martinelli.
Yes, that's true. You signed the Brazilian wonder kid who's going to be the next Neymar, apparently. Yeah, so the window is like 2 weeks away. The majority of the teams, maybe a couple of the top 6 are going to sign maybe 1 or 2 more players, but it looks like all the teams are as constructed. We're going to go from 20th to 1st. We may disagree on a lot of the teams that we pick in order,
especially up at the top.
Yeah, I think the top is definitely going to be like dividing opinion. Although we were just talking about it, the bottom 10 is wide open.
Bad.
Like I think this will be like one of the biggest gaps between the top 10 and the bottom 10 because I see a lot of quality in the top 10, but the bottom 10, some of those teams in the bottom 10 are awful.
They stink.
They're awful. All right, let's go from. So we're gonna go from 20th. All right.
You want to go
I'm
first?
just gonna be blunt right here.
Yeah.
Sheffield United.
Yeah, I got Sheffield as well. They stuck, dude. They've not signed anyone. Yeah. They fucking blow.
They're gone. They're done.
I honestly could barely name you their starting 11. I could barely name you fucking 5 players from the starting 11.
Yeah.
Kudos to them for going up. It's nice to have them back since 2008. That was the last time they came up. But they're going back down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Not. You know what? Though I did see they were interested in like Ribéry or Robin at one point. Went to shit. They don't have the wage bill for that though. They don't have the wage bill for that.
Oh my god! Imagine them signing like a 36-year-old Ribéry.
Hey man, he might push them to like 19th or something. Oh fuck me! I've only got. Wait, what's going on here? I'm missing a team.
I have 20 on my list.
I've got 19. How the fuck did I miss this?
So what I did was while you were doing that last team, I put up the table for the upcoming season just to make sure that like I thought I was missing a team as well, but then I remembered there was one team I put in 17th that I am.
It's one of the irrelevant teams. Yeah, I'm missing one of the irrelevant teams.
You know who's a team? I gotta be honest.
It's because I moved one up because I moved something down, I moved one up, and I lost one completely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what do you think? What was your 19? Like, what'd you have as 19?
Well, I know what I had for 19. So you could go first while I fucking find this team.
All right. Another promotion club, Norwich. I think they're going down. I don't think they signed too many players. I just don't think this. When was the last time we had 2 teams that got promoted that went back down? I'm trying to think.
I don't even know, to be honest.
That just got, because I know Brighton somehow have stayed in the Premier League for as long as they could. I don't know how. They've been up, I think, for 3 seasons. Yeah, but Norwich is my 19th. So I think
my 19th was Brighton.
Okay.
Brighton playing some of the worst football I've ever watched, next to Burnley. They have a 36-year-old playing their lead role at striker, Murray, and Done sucks.
Yep.
Knockaert is their best player, and that's a problem because he sucks. But I do like him.
Yep.
He just stinks. I just like him as a person. His story. I think his like mom or dad passed away recently.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. So.
Guess who I have at 18?
Oh, I fucking found the fucking irrelevant club.
I had Brighton at 18. So like
I had Burnley at 18th.
No, I don't think Burnley. Actually, I have Burnley high up. Here's the thing.
Okay, well, they had that crazy season 2 years
Yeah.
ago, and then they shit themselves because of the Europa League.
Yeah.
I think that they just
that played a
that
massive part.
that was like an anomaly. That's like the Leicester season.
Yeah. That played a massive
think
part,
it'll happen
though.
again.
I think with the Europa League, because what ended up happening
They were playing games like literally like a week ago.
Yeah, they were
last year, a week ago.
Yeah, exactly. They were playing in July, bro. So I was like,
it was crazy.
They had no preseason.
I just don't like them. I mean, again, I don't. Have they signed anyone? If they have, it's been irrelevant.
Here's what I'm gonna do.
They still have Tarkowski though, which is Tarkowski and Ben Mee are good, but when you don't score goals, you're not gonna do well. And Burnley don't score goals, and you see they did so well because their defense was so good 2 seasons ago, 2 seasons ago, and it only gets you so far. Teams start to unlock you and shit.
All right, so what I'm gonna do
starts getting tougher.
What I've done, right? I pulled up the transfers, the in and out so far on the Premier League website for each team. Okay, so Burnley has gotten Eric Peters from Stoke City. You know that guy, right?
The left back,
Yes.
Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah,
he's so bad. He's a Stoke reject, pretty much.
Jay Rodriguez from West Brom, which he's like
really?
He's like a left wing. Yeah,
I know who Jay Rodriguez is. The fucking Southampton guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, wait, isn't that a different Rodriguez?
No, that's fucking Jay.
Is it?
He went to West Brom, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Joel Senior from Curzon Ashton.
No, I have no idea who that is.
The 5 players out. Peter Crouch released. John Walters retired. Stephen Ward went to Stoke. Anders Lindegaard, remember him at United? The backup keeper.
The fucking keeper? I mean, they have Pope and Heaton, so.
Yeah, he got released. And then Mark Horwath, who also got released. So it looks like Burnley...
So look at that. They outed 2 strikers with Crouch and Walters retired and brought in Jay Rodriguez, who's not really an out-and-out striker. So when you look at it, they're not going to score any goals this season. Like Chris Wood is not good enough. They thought he would be when they signed him from Leeds, but he's not good enough.
Yeah.
I think Burnley go down. I pray to God they go down. One of my most hated teams.
That's more hate than actual thinking they're gonna go down.
Yeah, it's like when Stoke went down. A great season. I celebrated that.
Nah, Stoke City play, and like you could talk how bad like Burnley play. It's like Stoke are like 10 times worse. Like.
No, I think Burnley's up there, dude. Do you remember Burnley against Chelsea in that top 4 race in that Monday night game?
Yeah, I remember that.
Towards the end of the season, and Burnley were just tossing balls. They somehow drew the game.
It was the 1-1.
They were just it was get the ball to Jack Cork, and he's just hoofing it long, and they have no pace, which is the funniest thing. So I don't understand their game plan. I think Sean Dyche is a fucking he's tough, but he's a shit manager. They had one anomaly season there. I hope they go down. That's just my prediction.
By the way, there's 2 players that are... So we were talking about Sheffield, right, as 20th? The 2 players that they've gotten on free were Ravel Morrison, who is an old United Academy player, and Jagielka from Everton. That's the 2 that I know from their list.
Jagielka. Oh, I actually remember they announced Jagielka. Yeah.
They sold a ton of players, by the way. They sold
Ravel Morrison. Ravel Morrison. I remember them announcing him as well. Fuck me, because he came from Östersunds from Sweden.
They released 11 players, by the way, or they got rid of 11.
Well, I think there was it's like the championship wage bill.
It might be
like that.
All right, let's go to Southampton. Let's go to 17th. Southampton.
Oh, there you go. Southampton in 17th.
I fucking hate Well, let me talk about Southampton for a little bit. Being Liverpool's B team, all right? I don't get it, bro. Why are you such a feeder club to one team, bro? At least when you give your academy graduates or like the people that develop in your team, give them spread them around, bro. You've created almost.
Yeah, it's funny because the one signing United made from them sucked.
Oh my god, Luke Shaw.
Schneiderlin. No, I was talking about Schneiderlin.
Luke Shaw came from there as well.
Luke Shaw as well. That's too. Luke Shaw was average. Fuck me, I forgot Luke Shaw played
fucking
there.
Liverpool got Lallana. They got Mane.
Everyone
they
fucking
got
played
Van
at
Dijk.
Southampton.
Yeah,
I mean, we got Chambers from fucking Southampton.
Bale came from Southampton originally.
Bro, what the fuck is wrong with that team?
Bro,
man?
they have like a sick academy.
Walcott, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Chambers, all from Southampton.
Yeah. Could you imagine if you could put together like a Premier League 11 of like the players they've sold to other Premier League clubs? And
they would finish in the top 10.
I think they would finish in the top 4.
They finished in the top 4, yeah.
Definitely over
The
Spurs
only
and
problem
United.
would be the keeper. The keepers, I don't remember them
Fraser
selling
Forster?
any keepers.
Is it Forster?
No, he's still there. He's still
Yeah.
there.
It's some
So,
Forster, yeah.
Because when they came up, they had that Dave. I think his name was Davis. I don't remember.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Doesn't
I
matter.
remember him. Yeah, yeah.
You remember the old guy? He had like gray hair,
Yeah.
pretty much. Van Persie scored a hat trick on him. Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember
So that was my 17. This is more like, for me, honestly, I would take.
You would love for them to go down.
I would love for them to go down just because of the amount of like they've created a Liverpool like. If Man City weren't in the Premier League right now, Liverpool would win the next 5 Premier Leagues with the way their team is constructed.
Yeah, they would absolutely.
So
Man City's our only hope in stopping Liverpool again.
Exactly.
It's just fact.
So Norwich, I would have switched Norwich and Southampton. Honestly, if I didn't know.
Yeah, I have Norwich there actually. I have said Norwich in 17.
Yeah, I mean like that's gonna be. I think the bottom 4 battle. I think is gonna be. Well, you had Burnley actually, but I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Burnley are going to do better. I think with the preseason, they'll do okay. I mean, I'll tell you my position soon, but let's go to 16. So I'm going to pull up my 16th team. I just, honestly, we were talking about this the other night.
These are like toss-ups.
I'm surprised.
Anywhere from 10 to 16.
I'm surprised you didn't say Newcastle get relegated because I have them at 16.
I am at 16.
This is who they've gotten rid of. Obviously, they signed Jolinton from Hoffenheim, right?
They got rid of Perez.
They got rid of Perez. They got rid of Diame. They got rid of Yarny, Roberts, Josello. I know that's the guy from Southampton.
Joselu, yeah.
That's the guy from
Striker guy. No, Stoke City.
Okay, he went to Alaves. And then Bartlett.
Longstaff might be on the way out as well.
Yeah, please.
Newcastle's team is horrific.
Don't go to United.
Horrific, dude.
So who do you have at 16?
Longstaff. I have Newcastle.
Oh, you do? Okay. And let's not forget Steve Bruce is the manager of Newcastle United.
He might be the worst manager in Prem history. Listen, the only reason I have them staying up and getting above Norwich is one, because they have experience, more experience in the Prem than the Norwich kids do. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that Norwich doesn't have the ability to finish above them. I also like Dubravka a lot. I think he's going to have a really good season again. So he's going to end up saving them a lot.
DeAndre Yedlin.
Yedlin. Jolinton can break through. I think he's built for the Prem. And then Lascelles. Fuck, man. Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I love him, man. I actually wanted Arsenal to sign him.
Really?
Last season.
Well,
yeah,
I'd still take him at that point.
I'd still fucking take him for 20 mil, to be honest. He's a really good center back.
They also have... they're going to have... If Chelsea re-ups the Kennedy loan deal... They're gonna have him.
Oh yeah. Kennedy's listen. They have the talent to probably finish in 12th.
Yeah,
but Steve Bruce is their manager.
They do, honestly.
So, but it's really goes down to Steve Bruce. And in football, managers are a huge. They play a huge role.
Yep.
Like more of a role than any other sport. Like we were talking about in the first podcast.
Yeah, the managers talked about way more because because it's like. Obviously,
tactics are much more like in depth in football.
Think about it for United. Like 3 different managers have gone through these set of players. Finally, people are starting to blame the players now because they see that now we're on to our 4th manager since Fergie, and they're starting to realize maybe some of them obviously have said that in the past that these players aren't good enough, including myself. But the managers are obviously at fault, but. Finally, people are now looking at the players and they're like, these guys might not be good enough. If you have to go through 4 managers in 6 seasons, like, the players are at fault. But it's not always like that in the Premier League. The players get let off the hook. If you remember a couple seasons ago at Chelsea, they pretty much boycotted Mourinho. They were going behind his back. Fabregas, Hazard...
Hazard went a year without scoring.
Yeah,
on purpose, by the way. I don't care what anyone fucking says, dude.
Yep.
Hazard's not going a year without scoring. That's just not a normality. He just didn't give a shit. Unfortunately,
it was Hazard, Fabregas, Willian, and I think that honestly, I know we're like kind of tangenting off, but I think that's when Mourinho started to. Stop. Remember how Mourinho used to be like a manager that would stick up for his players and kind of deflect away from his players' performance if they played bad? I think he lost all trust in players, thinking, you know what? Players have too much power now. And then he started coming out of United and started, he talked about Luke Shaw's weight. He talked about Chris Smalling. He talked about, many players in the media and kind of destroyed them in the media. I think that when the Chelsea players turned their back on Mourinho and got him sacked that season, I think that's when all of his trust went away with players. Because I always remember Mourinho being somebody that would, if their team played bad, he would say something in the media. He would blame the freaking doctor. All right, he would blame the guy coming onto the pitch to do the magic spray on the players. Like, he would blame anything possible to deflect away from his team's performance. He was a player's manager, and that's why you saw like Zlatan and other players still wanted to play for Mourinho after his last Chelsea spell. But that was a little tangent away. Let's go to 15th. I think it's going to be Bournemouth. I like Eddie Howe as a manager, but I think that it's going to be them at 15. Let's see their... Who's your 15?
Hold on, because Mesut Ozil just fucking tweeted some nut shit right now.
What did he say?
About Spurs. Some Spurs fan on football Twitter. He said, "Wait, why the fuck was Ozil in our team photo? Because they had a missing guy behind. I think that's in Ndombele.
Yeah.
Or no, that just looks like a youngster. It's not Ndombele. And he quoted it and said, "If you look closely, you can see a trophy cabinet."
That's got 15.5k favorites in 2 minutes.
God damn.
Oh no.
Anyway, you said 15. I got Aston Villa.
You have Villa at 18. Okay.
At 15.
Okay.
Right?
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Villa. They're good. They'll stay up. They're good enough to stay up. They have Terry as their assistant, right?
Yeah. So
JT.
Here they're.
I like them in the playoff final. If Tammy Abraham's going back to Chelsea.
Yeah. The ins and outs, right? So here are the players that are kind of notable. Mesut is out. Tyrone Mings is out. Mark Pugh is out.
No, didn't they sign him? Actually, they're in talks to sign him. Mings.
He went to Villa. In. No, that's an out. He was on Bournemouth before.
So they brought him into Villa. I said Villa. Who are you looking at?
Oh, I'm looking at Bournemouth at 15.
You fucking idiot. Yeah, he went to Villa. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I was looking at the Bournemouth because I was looking at my 15.
Yeah, Bournemouth 15.
Let me go look at Villa's ins and outs. So you have Villa at 15. They've actually brought in a lot of players. They brought in Wesley from Club Brugge. El Ghazi from Lille.
Yep. El Ghazi was a permanent, I think, because I think they loaned him from last season, I believe.
Jota from Birmingham. Trezeguet from the Turkish league.
Oh, that kid's gonna be good, man. I remember him from the World Cup.
They actually might have a decent squad. Douglas Luiz from Man City on loan.
That was today.
They have some decent players actually. Yeah,
but the Douglas Luiz thing might not go through because of the work permit issues. I saw.
That's not bad. I mean, I'm looking at their outs like Glenn Whelan, Ross McCormick. Not Alan Hutton.
They tossed away all their deadwood.
Jednak.
Alan Hutton, yeah. Jesus Christ, that's literally all the deadwood. They really improved, man, and they brought in a younger side.
I mean,
they brought in a very younger side.
I'm happy. I mean, I might replace them with somebody.
No, I still think 15 because although they brought in a lot of players, it does in the Prem, you're gonna need a mixture of experience, and I just think that 15 is a solid place for them.
Here's the thing, I feel like they remind me a lot of Fulham last year in the way that they did their business. They got a lot of signings this year, a lot of ins and outs of the club after they got promoted to the Premier League. Because obviously when you win the championship, you get 150 million.
It's the playoff final.
Yeah, so you get 150 million.
Which they demolished Derby in, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even close. So that's pretty good. They have a couple really good players in that squad.
I like Wesley and Trezeguet a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're gonna do well. I think El Ghazi from Lille. I think he played well this season. I just think
he was already on Villa, I believe.
Was he? He might have just gone.
Yeah, he was. He played in the final. He got an assist in the final, I think.
Then he was on a loan to buy it. All right, my 14 because you obviously said Villa was your 15. Mine was. Bournemouth.
And you said Bournemouth was your 15, right?
I stand by that. I think Bournemouth definitely will be 15. I think for 14, I'm going Burnley. I think.
Okay, yeah.
Who do you got at 14?
You could go whatever you're gonna say.
I mean, honestly, this is more of I wish they would go down. because like the way they play football.
They play football, yeah.
Their manager is Sam Dyche, right?
Sean Dyche.
Sean Dyche, yes. Yeah, I just don't like the way they play. Like I thought it was like a couple years ago. I thought it was pretty cool that they were getting 8th place. They were getting the Europa League, qualifier and stuff. And I was like, you know what? We need more of this. The teams
they got tossed by Olympiacos.
They literally got tossed, and it kind of ruined their whole season last year. Because you'd be surprised at how good a preseason would do for a team's confidence. Like preseason last year for United was all negative. They went into the season negative. Their whole season was pretty much negative. There was only one little bright spot in about a 15-game stretch. You look at Burnley last year, never really got going, and then they started preseason really early. Like none of the players had holiday last year, so they came in probably a little tired. Then towards the end of that Premier League season, like you're just gonna be even like the second half. The winter schedule catches up with you. You have all the cup games. They play in both cups.
Didn't they go like 10 games without a win or something like that?
I wouldn't doubt
last
it, to be
season.
Honest. Yeah,
they were struggling. I know they were definitely in the relegation zone for a while.
Yeah, they were.
They kind of clawed their way out of it. Fucking lucky bitches. They were drunk. They were in the relegation battle for the whole season. That Chelsea draw saved them. I remember that.
I'm just pulling up.
I hate them, but I think I don't know, man. I just don't see the quality on that team, man.
I'm looking at the table right now. They got that's not right. 2017-18? No. 18-19. They got 15th, and they were 6 points from the relegation zone. The draw against Chelsea, the reason why they played so hard against Chelsea was because they needed that point. Because if you remember,
secured them.
If you remember, their late run at the season was like 3 of the top 6 they had to play in their last like 4 games.
It was us on the last day.
Yes, exactly. So they played Chelsea, they played Arsenal, and I think they had to play Spurs as well at home. In the final 6. So I think, obviously like they had to get that point. That's why they tried so hard, and they played terrible football. And then Southampton was 16th last year. I was really hoping they would go down. If you're a fan of any of these clubs, I do apologize.
Man, I like Southampton's manager, man. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, Cardiff was 18th, Fulham, Huddersfield.
Good. 3 teams that went down that deserve to go down, maybe other than Burnley.
And United dropped points to Cardiff and Huddersfield in the last 2 games.
Nice.
Let's not talk about that. Let's go to, we're at 14 or we're at 13th.
Well, I gotta go my 14 still.
Yeah, I was about to say, what is your 14?
My 14 is Palace.
Okay.
That's whether they sell Zaha or they don't sell Zaha. I think that they'll finish 14th. They're always a team. They start off in the relegation battle. They start building momentum. They steal points away from home to the top 6 for no reason. And then they stay up comfortably. It's the same shit every year with them. I like their fans a lot, to be fair. They have they probably have the most diehard fans in the entire league. And even if Zaha leaves, man, I mean, Townsend is fine. Yeah. You got Benteke, who can contribute to some goals. Fucking Milivojevic is not a bad CDM.
They still have pieces in place.
Again, not a bad back 4. And if you just look at it, man, like I was saying before with Villa, it's the complete opposite. They've got experience for the Prem. And that's just... I just think they'll finish 14th. It's like a toss-up, really.
That's a good shout, to be fair, because...
maybe even 11, 12 to 16, 12 to 17. It's like...
Yeah,
they really just interchange unless one of them has like a crazy season.
Here's their ins and outs. So their ins is Jordan Ayew from Swansea and Henderson, Stephen Henderson on free. Then their outs were Puncheon, Speroni, Basaka, obviously, and they could sell Zaha still.
But if they get Zaha up, they'll get Reece Nelson on loan most likely. So, it's a capable replacement. Not as good, but he's up there.
Let's go on to 13th. So I did Villa for the same reasons. I thought they had some really pretty good signings.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna surprise a few people this year. Like we said earlier, the bottom 10 was a lot harder to predict the order than the top 10. Because the top 10 we said earlier, like we were talking off camera, first 2 minutes was literally the top 10, and then I had to take like 5-10 minutes to figure out the bottom 10 because it was hard. Like I don't know.
It's tough. It is really a toss up for most times. 13. I actually have underachievers. I think Watford is going to finish 13th.
Okay.
Although I like Doucouré a lot. I think he's a really good CM. Ricardo Pereira, yeah, he's a good player.
Troy Dean.
I think it's Roberto. It doesn't fucking matter what his name is. That's the problem with me right there. You just named it. Troy Deeney, Damari Gray. Oh, no, Andre Gray.
Do you remember when Andre Gray was about to go for 40 mil to United under Louis Van Gaal?
You see, this is the problem. These guys, once again, you're not scoring goals, then you're just not going to have a good season. And although Watford aren't going to score many goals, they have a much better defense than Burnley. They have a much better midfield than Burnley. Overall, they're a better team than Burnley. I think they'll finish 13th. They play well at home. I think their away form is going to suck.
Yeah, their home form is pretty good, actually. Watford.
I don't know. Have they signed anyone major? I don't think so. I don't think that they signed anyone
So they're
major.
ins and outs, right? Craig Dawson from West Brom.
That's bad.
that's really it. I mean, they signed this guy Adams and Bashiru on freeze. The notable outs are Jerome Sinclair, Navarro to go to Leganés, and Wilmot went to Swansea. Swansea did a lot of stuff.
They haven't really lost anyone. They haven't brought anyone in. It's going to be the same team. They'll finish in 13th.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think Javi Garcia is a pretty good manager. I just don't think he has the team capable of finishing even top 10 in the Prem.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion.
I don't think he will either.
But again, it really, like I said with every team, it just comes up to a toss-up.
Especially like...
it's tough.
Yeah, like Troy Deeney can go on and have like a really good season. They might hit 11th, 12th, but if he doesn't, maybe they hit 13th to 15th. Like a striker's
where they get their
form.
goals, you know?
Exactly.
You just can't rely on a midfielder to score your goals in Pereira.
Exactly. Like they literally,
or even Doucouré. Doucouré gets on the score sheet, a decent amount.
Didn't they have someone last year? It was he had like dreads. I'm forgetting his name. I think
Isaac Success.
No, he was a Chelsea loanee, Shalaba or something like that.
Fuck me.
Wasn't he on?
Wasn't
he on Watford last year? I believe he was.
Fuck, I don't even. Chelsea got too many loanees.
They had like 50. All right, let's go 12. I got Palace. I think.
Okay, you have Palace, yeah.
Like we said,
that's probably the same as me. 12 to 14 is the same fucking number.
Exactly, like. Palace.
Because at the end of the season, you get to the last day and Palace could be in 14th. They'll win the game and end in like 11th.
Yep, exactly. It's so close.
It's just a toss up. Yeah.
Who's your 12?
I have Bournemouth.
Okay.
I think they'll do well. I think they'll have a good season. Callum Wilson if he stays healthy. Yeah, Jordan Ibe, I believe, is Josh King. These are decent players.
Ryan
Nathan Ake, Lerma, Frazier, exactly, and they haven't lost Frazier, which is important. So they have good players they haven't lost. I don't think they brought anyone in again, but it's just Eddie Howe's a decent manager.
I might have put them too low, actually. I might have.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's, again, I like the way they play football. I think they go for it most of the time. And I like Frazier, and I like Cam Wilson a lot.
You've convinced me.
Just two guys.
You've convinced me. I'm switching Palace and Bournemouth.
What is that? 12 and 14.
12 and 15.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you've convinced me that.
And you know what? With the Callum
Wilson
thing,
actually.
Yeah, they got a decent team if you think about it. It's kind of like under the radar. No one really goes and rates them. Like Arsenal were linked with Frazier for a while, but even that died down. I mean, who's linked to anyone in that team? You need a center back. You could go with Nathan Ake. I know he's a little short, but. He's not that bad. Lewis Cook, I believe he's the center mid.
Yeah.
Really highly rated in the one FM save that I was doing in the international. He was the starting CM for England. He scored a goal in the World Cup final. They lost 2-1 to Italy in the last minute. Just letting all you fucking British cunts know. I'm kidding. Okay. But that did happen.
Their away form, their away form will be poor.
Yeah,
but I think their home form is really good.
They're really good at home.
Like 4-0 against Chelsea.
And you know why?
This year.
It's because they play football, and that's really the only reason.
He's a good manager.
When you're not a top 6 side or Wolves or something, it's hard to play football away from home. Even Arsenal struggle for away from home, obviously. It's hard to play the football you want, possession-wise, attacking-wise, away from home. And when you're Bournemouth and you have even less quality than those guys, it's just going to be a shit show. But at home, you're going to have, you're going to have the crowds backing.
Their stadium is pretty cool. Like, it's a small stadium.
Yeah,
like
small. I think it might be the smallest in the Prem.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's Vitality Stadium or.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is. Yeah.
And you know what? Wilson's story is nice. He brought him up from like nothing.
Yeah.
Brought him to the Prem, tore his ACL, and then came back. Had a pretty good season last season.
Bournemouth haven't done too bad. Let me look at where they finished in the table. They finished 14th last year. They finished tied with Newcastle for 13th, though. So like
exactly. So it's like in the middle, and they were never really in a relegation battle. At least I don't remember if they were. They're always pretty secure, pretty safe. They're just trying to push on to. They're trying to push on to like top 10, 9, 8.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. And you know what? The only problem I have is that Eddie Howe's a little bit overrated, in my opinion. I know a lot of Arsenal fans thought
English. That's why.
Yeah, it's the English, man. A lot of Arsenal fans thought he should be the guy to come in.
Same with United.
I just don't rate that. Yeah,
these fucking fans. Bro.
He's a good manager, but he's a little overrated.
That's like, honestly, like that's like Marco Silva, like going from like Everton, go all the way up top to like Man City or something like that. Like, no, you don't. You have to pit stop in the middle. Like for Eddie Howe, if he wants to continue growing as a manager, right? Take Bournemouth to 11th, 12th, maybe 10th this year, right? Surprise a few people. Then maybe do like a I don't know, do like a Wolves job or like not Chelsea, but like an Everton or a West Ham or Leicester. Leicester, exactly. Like do like a bigger job, something in the middle, and then like work your way up that way. You don't just think he's
too loyal
United or something. Yeah, he is loyal. I would assume.
Because he's been their manager for so long. He literally brought him and Callum Wilson were the two main guys that brought him from, I believe, almost getting relegated from League Two to the Prem.
Yeah,
and comfortable in the Prem since they've been promoted.
Mm-hmm.
So good for them.
Yeah, I had number 11. I had Watford. Like I said, I think they're. You always like say like what Watford away is like a tough game. Like usually
it's such a tough game.
Usually it's a tough game. I know United have made things a little difficult for themselves at Watford. I know Arsenal just shithouse a 1-0 this past season at Watford.
And they had 10 men. They had 10 men.
It was an own
Troy
goal.
Deeney got sent off.
It was an own goal, right?
No, it was Aubameyang closed down for Foster.
Yeah, so
and he just tapped it. Like he practically just deflected the ball into the net.
I think they saved something off the line as well. Arsenal. Like it was a crazy.
Yeah, it was
game.
tight. They hit the Watford the post. Yeah, it was a shit house.
Who do you have? 11?
Yeah, it's a tough place to go. I got West Ham.
Okay.
Again, I think with West Ham, I just always look at them a little bit overrated. Just because they make those kind of marquee signings doesn't mean that they're going to be all that great. And although Pellegrini isn't a bad, he's not a bad manager. There's something about West Ham that they always just kind of fuck it up. They'll either get beaten down 6-0 by one of the top 6, or draw them 0-0, or beat them 1-0. There's literally no in between. They'll either shithouse a point or like a 1-0 win, or they'll get beaten down 6-0. And then against the shitty teams, it seems like it's always 3-3, 4-4, 2-2. I don't know, man. They've got like kryptonite or some. I know they signed that Maxi Gomez. No. Some kind of Gomez.
All right.
Guy from Celta Vigo.
No. So you want to hear like their ins and outs?
Fornals is one of them.
Fornals from Villarreal. They signed Sebastian Haller from Frankfurt.
That's a good player. I'll give him that one.
Roberto from Espanyol. They signed David Martin from Millwall. Here are their notable players that they either released or they got out. So Nasri released. Lucas Perez went to Alaves, former Arsenal player, by the way.
He struggled there.
He did.
At West Ham.
Andy Carroll released. Adrian.
Yeah, good. They got Haller in.
Yeah, Adrian released their keeper. They obviously have Fabianski. Obiang went to Sassuolo. Arnautovic went to China.
Yeah, that's a big loss. And you know what? Even Obiang's a big loss because I don't think Carlos Sanchez is good enough. I know he's at West Ham right now. I don't think he's good enough to be the CDM.
Yeah.
Now, I have Declan Rice, but I'm pretty sure West Ham could probably do with a double pivot with Declan and Obiang, but it's whatever Pellegrini fucking wants to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you had them at 11. I have West Ham at actually 10. So we're like 1 or 2 spots off of each other, and again that's why, because like the bottom 10 is so close. Like
Yeah,
you,
they're so even in shittiness.
it really is. It's really bad. Like I said earlier in the podcast that we might see like the biggest gap between the top 10 and the bottom 10. West Ham is probably like the bridge mark between the 11 to 20 compared to 1 to 9. I think the quality is going to be way different. Even if some of the top 6 have like kind of not signed anyone, or maybe obviously Chelsea got a transfer ban, I don't think it's enough to really push any of them away. I think the bottom 10 are the bottom
and
9
even pushed them
so
above
bad.
Leicester and Everton, Wolves, all those guys.
Who do you have at 10?
Southampton, overachievers, and I really love their manager, dude. Hasenhüttl is a quality manager. I mean, he did so well with Leipzig for so long, you know. He brought him up. What, did they finish second in their first season?
Yeah.
They struggled in the Champions League a little bit. Obviously, they got bumped down to the Europa, but there's something about him, man. He's a good motivator. And, you know, Southampton were about to get relegated when he came in, and they comfortably survived in the end, I'd say. He beat Arsenal in his like first fucking game, maybe second game.
Beat United as well. No.
Yeah, so, and again, Southampton away is always a fucking shitty place to go.
Well, for Arsenal it is, yeah.
For everyone but fucking Liverpool and City, it is.
Yeah, because we always had like this joke last year, but it actually is true. Like teams just roll over.
Teams just bend over.
They literally roll over for the top 2.
They know they can't beat them, so they just stop trying.
Honestly, I think
it's the most annoying fucking thing ever.
A lot of people say that when Fergie was like the manager of United, the players before the game, like if they would go to like Old Trafford, they would be like, I hope it's not like 5 or 6 today. I hope it's like...
Same thing with Arsenal.
That's the thing.
You walk down the tunnel and they knew they would lose under Vieira and Henry and Bergkamp.
Yep. And
that's what they said.
Yeah, now it's like the fear has kind of been, I don't know, like just it's gone now because teams know that
people don't go to Old Trafford. They're not scared.
That's the thing is like...
Same thing with the Emirates.
Yeah, and then even if you go away from
Same
home,
thing with Stamford Bridge. Same thing with the fucking Spurs. The only places people are scared to go are Liverpool and City.
Because of the top
2. That's just fact. That's my... I'm not scared of any game except for that. Literally.
Yeah, I think in every game this season, I think the United could win every single game besides Liverpool and Man City. Those are the only 2 games where I'm like, or the only 4 games.
Well, I go in and say, all right, let's try and draw.
Yeah.
Now that's not like meant to say that when I go to, I don't know, Watford away, I'm like, oh, easy 3 points. I'm always skeptical about those away games, but realistically, as Arsenal Football Club, those are games you should be winning.
Yes.
Which is why the mentality for us fans and even in United as well is, why are we not getting the 3 points every time?
I gotta be honest.
It's just a mentality thing.
Mm-hmm. I gotta be honest. Even though I just said like you don't expect to like beat Liverpool and City, I still go into those games like in the back of my mind. I'm like, we could pull something out of our ass. Like,
what happens if we pull something off? Yeah, like we went up 1-0 at Anfield and then lost 5-1. So range of emotions.
I think like the thing is like United could have like, here's the thing, like I think the reason why Liverpool and Man City are so good is because they do have quality above others, but they're also consistent. And the thing is like with Arsenal and especially United went on a brilliant streak last year of 15 games where they literally won 14 out of 15. The only draw was Burnley at home, which they did come back from 2-0 down in the last 5 minutes, and were very close to actually winning that game. And then you look at Arsenal. Arsenal had 3 or 4 games last year where they totally played the other team off the park. They played the way Emery wanted them to play. And you could see it on his face too when they scored the goals. One of the performances was Chelsea. When they went to Chelsea at home, they beat them 2-1, right? That first half.
2-0.
Oh, yeah, 2-0. That first half, they literally just played Chelsea off the park. And, like, that's probably the way, like, Emery wants to, set up his team. But the players are so, like, something bad happens and their heads go down. And, like...
Oh, it's so tough, man, yeah.
Like, and they have no mentality. Like, the players, like, that Arsenal and United have nowadays, it literally have such a bad mentality. One bad thing happens, another bad thing happens. Yep. Like, if just one instance, De Gea's bad play against I don't know, against Barcelona, right? Or Ashley Young's
Mm.
Cruyff turn in his own box at the Camp Nou. The second we played well up until that point, the second Messi scored there, we were totally out of the game. I don't even think we got a shot on goal. And that's what happens is the mentality of the players for Arsenal and Man United, they're not consistent enough. They pull up performances out of their ass to make fans think like they're good again. When in reality they're actually like just papering over the cracks of how bad of a mentality they are as a player. I mean, Arsenal have a lot of deadwood, so do United. So that's gonna happen with clubs like this. Same thing with Chelsea. Same thing with Spurs. Like they have players that they don't want, and that's why the top two they seem to get their business done better.
Boom! Ornstein tweet.
What do you say?
Fucking Saliba, done deal. Arsenal will announce him next.
Okay.
Interest dates back to autumn. Formalized February and March. Late Tottenham approach. Cause delay was considered, but 18-year-old stuck to initial choice. Signed a 5-year deal. Loan back, non-negotiable condition.
Nice.
Benito. All right, so that's number 4 of the season, pretty much. Anyway.
So you got like 4 young signings.
3. I mean, but still, yeah.
So I guess, obviously we went on a tangent, and I know you were looking up that Ornstein tweet. So let's go to number 9. I have Everton.
I think we. Oh yeah, I had Southampton. Who'd you have 10?
I had West Ham.
Okay, yeah. You had Everton 9.
Yeah.
Oh man, I have Chelsea Football Club at number 9. And I will stand by this shit. The second they got transfer banned and sacked, I said they were finishing outside the top 6. I will stand by this shit to the fucking end of the season next year until it's physically impossible for them to get 9th. Listen, first of all, sacking Sarri. I know that Juve came in and maybe he was part of the deal where Sarri said, let me go to Juve. But try and keep him at least. Don't just let him go so fucking easily after one season. He finished 3rd and won the Europa League with these guys and then went to the Carabao Cup final. That's pretty fucking good for a first season, in the Premier League. I would have fucking taken that under Emery. Lampard took a very good Derby side compared to the rest of the championship. Didn't get promoted. They were meant to get promoted. That was their goal, get promoted. They didn't get promoted. He comes in. This is going to be his 2nd season in a job in a transfer ban top 6 club.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what the hell else can you do? You just lost your best player in Hazard. So now it's essentially Pulisic comes in, but is Pulisic going to replace all the Hazard fear? Absolutely the fuck not. I know he's a good player, but it's just not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Willian is still not good enough.
Pedro.
What's going on with the striker situation? You sold Morata. Higuain's back to Juve, and I know Morata got a lot of hate for being ass, and Higuain as well, but is Giroud that much better? I wouldn't say so. I mean, look at Giroud for us. Fucking hell. I mean, he's barely a top 4 fucking striker.
He's a top 10 striker.
If we had any other striker in the Leicester title winning season, then Giroud, we would have won the league. He missed so many fucking opportunities. They have Tammy Abraham coming back on loan. Is he proven in the Prem? I wouldn't say so. I mean, look how he did with Swansea, a relegation club, bang average. Now he's coming into a top 6 club. I don't know if he'll be able to lead the line. I don't know what this hype is from Mason Mount. Where has he proved himself? He's only done well in the championship. So I don't understand what this fucking him coming into the Chelsea midfield trio and doing amazing is coming from. Kovacic, I rate. Kante, not creative enough, but he's obviously good enough to be in their midfield. And Jorginho. So that midfield is arguably the worst in the top 6. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
If that was a trio of a midfield, it's probably the worst. It's not better than City. It's not better than Liverpool. And Ndombele, Eriksson, and I don't know, Wanyama or something. Not better than that. Arsenal have Torreira, Guendouzi, Xhaka, Ceballos, now Ozil. I wouldn't say it's better than that either, no offense. I know that's going to cause a lot of pot stirring. And then even United, Pogba, Fred, Matic, or something along those lines. Again, I would take Pogba, Matic, Fred over, Jorginho, who I rate, Kante, who I don't, and Kovacic, who, again, bang average last season. And if it's not Kovacic, it's Mason Mount. And then I want to get to the defense, which is aging, and they can't sign anyone. Now, I know they're bringing Zuma back, but what's going on with his knee? He wasn't that great at Everton. Obviously, he tore his ACL a while ago, right? Or fucking something in his knee when his knee went backwards. David Luiz, he's finished. Aspilicueta is finished. Marcus Alonso sucks. Emerson, I rate him. I'll give you that. And I rate Kepa.
Yeah.
Is that a top 6 club? I'm sorry, it's not. And it comes down to the fact that Lampard is the manager. If Sarri was the manager, I say you finish 6th, maybe 5th.
Yeah, because
Lampard's not proven.
Here's the thing, like, a lot of people are like, Chelsea had like a good season last year, and they did, right? They finished, 4th, and they got the Europa League, right?
3rd. They finished 3rd.
They finished 3rd, exactly. So they finished 3rd, but let's really be honest. If we're really dissecting that 3rd, 4th raise, it was literally who was less
5th
shit.
to 6th.
Who was less shit?
Yeah, so whoever's the least shit. Yeah.
Because Spurs.
They drew to Burnley and finished 3rd.
Spurs won 2-9 of their last 9 games. Chelsea didn't win much at the end. United won 2-14. Arsenal were dropping points left, right, and center. Like
after Watford away.
Yeah,
that was our last practically fucking points. I'd say that was the last time I had hope.
That was it. Like. Those were like the top 4 race last year. It was one of the worst top 4 races, but it was the most competitive because every team was dropping points like left, right, and center. I'm surprised.
I'm telling you, man. I'm sticking by Chelsea 9th, 8th, maybe.
I'm surprised.
I don't think they'll finish in the top 6.
Have you seen Everton's form in the preseason so far? And you see all their outs.
I know, but I never rate preseason. It's only for match fitness. I don't give a shit. Chelsea won the league with shitty preseason a couple years back. And then they went undefeated in preseason under, I believe, Mourinho and finished 13th. Doesn't mean shit. We literally went 4 years undefeated in preseason under Wenger, from like 14 to 8, from 13 to 17. So
you're giving me a lot of hope right now, basically, because we're undefeated in preseason. So, we're good. We're gonna finish 13th this year.
No, I'm telling you, man. I'm sticking with Chelsea 9th. Sorry, Chelsea fans. I just I can't see it. I really can't.
Someone just clip this and send it to Fuso, just so he can see it.
Someone clip it and save it till the end of the season when Chelsea finish 2nd somehow. No, I'm sorry, man. I don't rate Frank as manager yet, especially after 1 season. That's like me rating Henry, after his 1 season, and me saying bring Henry to the carpet when we have Unai already. What the fuck would be the point of that? Henry just he was literally so shit at Monaco. And fucking same thing with Vieira. Vieira's a little bit more proven, obviously. Vieira's been in coaching for a while now. But even him and Arteta as well, it's all the same. And, good for Gerrard that he's not moving straight to somewhere else huge. Good for him staying at Rangers for a couple seasons. Mm-hmm. Let yourself develop. I know Frank took the job off of emotions. They gave him the job off of emotions. And what is Frank supposed to do? Turn it down? Obviously not.
Yeah.
But should they be giving him the job in the first place? No, he shouldn't even be in the top 10 candidates. Allegri just resigned. No, he's taking a year off. You could have put in a replacement and then brought in Allegri's. I know Allegri's a little bit overrated, but yeah, he's experienced. I know that's not the way Chelsea want to play because it's more park the bus shithousery. But again, you could have lured a lot of different managers. Even brought in Hasenhüttl from Southampton. You could lure him up. There's no reason you couldn't. So that's just my opinion on the Chelsea situation. With the transfer ban doesn't help. I don't think they have a striker that's good enough to lead the line. I don't think their attack is good enough. Pulisic being their best attacker is going to be problematic because Willian kind of sucks. Giroud's not good enough. Tammy Abraham's not good enough. Pedro's finished. And again, it comes down to their midfield. Not good enough. They don't have a right back. I know there's a lot of hype for Reece James. Sorry, dude. If you do good in League One, starting right back in a top 6 club, straight from a League One club. I know I said Bielik is one of our better center backs, but that doesn't mean I want him straight into the fray and starting every single game. Yeah.
Let's go 8 because that was
all right. That was a while. Sorry.
No,
I just needed to justify that. Yeah.
The top 6 will be interesting to look at too. I have Leicester at 8.
I have Leicester at 8th as well.
Yeah, they're not going to sell Maddison. It doesn't look like Vardy's still going to be there. Vardy surprisingly has 20 goals every single year he plays now.
Yep.
So he's going to be okay.
I can't say I like Ayoze Perez as a signing either. I thought they could, if they made a few more decent signings, I thought they could have pushed to 7th or 6th, but I don't like it personally.
They'll be good this year.
Tielemans is a good one though. Obviously they just got him on a permanent.
Yeah.
He was there last year. And if they lose Maguire, even if they lose Maguire, I think they'll be good. They'll be pretty good.
Yeah, like their ins and outs, like Shinji Okazaki, Danny Simpson, both got released.
Finished. Finished.
That's it. Like
all finished.
Everything else is in. So they got this guy, Daley Campbell from Arsenal. I guess he was a Arsenal youngster.
Honestly, that doesn't even ring a bell. I don't know. They must be like some 16-year-old.
Yeah. So let's go 7. I had Chelsea. Oh,
okay, yeah.
Yeah, like for all the points that Connor I just made, like they're not gonna finish in the top 6. Like I know all these Chelsea fans are like getting excited about how like they have all these young players coming in. They're like, oh, we got 50 players on loan. At least one of them's got to be good. You like with young players comes a lot of
mistakes.
A lot of mistakes, a lot of ups and downs in a season. So they may like surprise you sometimes.
And you got to remember they got Champions League, so
they do.
They're in Pot 1, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to get a hard group. Real Madrid's not going to be in Pot 1 this year.
Yeah, exactly.
So Chelsea get Real Madrid, and Chelsea get another tough team, someone like Inter Milan
or Dortmund.
All of a sudden, you're finishing last in your Champions League group, and where's the morale?
Exactly.
That's going to be rough because that Champions League Champion League group stages end in the beginning of December, which then leads into that tough stretch of the fucking Christmas period. So if you're going in with bad morale there off of a Champions League exit, man, it's gonna and they have us on the 28th. I believe they have City as well in the Christmas period. I could be wrong.
They have we have them as well, United in the Christmas
period. Go. See, so they got a tough schedule. They got a transfer ban. They have an unexperienced manager and not good enough strikers or center backs. I forgot about Rudiger mentioning center backs. I believe he's injured anyway, isn't he?
Yeah.
So there you go. Ampadu just left. Why would you let him leave? Sorry, because I know he's young, but at least don't sell if you have a transfer ban for the fucking year.
Let me make this point, right? If they get 3rd in their group, then they have to transition to Thursday, Sunday, and for the second half of the season. If you also go out of the Champions League group stage, the morale, just like Conor just said, will be awful. So them going into the Christmas period, which is realistically where a lot of things get done, because you play 7 or 8 times in the span of like 20 days. So, if they lose a bunch of games in that spell, like their second half of the season could be 100% done.
It just sets it up for a shit second half. Yeah,
they could start well off the blocks. I wouldn't be surprised if they came out like they did last year. Right? They had 18 points from the first, I think 6 games. I think City and Liverpool went all undefeated in their first 6 games, and then obviously Liverpool and City went even further than that.
Nuts.
But all right, let's go number 6. I had Wolves, and I think you have Wolves as well.
I have Wolves as well.
Yes. All right, so.
I think they'll build off what happened last year.
Yeah, I agree. Going away to Wolves, I gotta be honest with you, is pretty scary. I get scared going there. Like when you have like Jota and you got fucking Raul Jimenez, bro. Yeah.
Jimenez. These are like shithouse players for no reason.
Yeah, Ruben Neves is fucking good. Like fucking Doherty is like one of the best right backs in the Premier League last year.
They haven't sold.
Yeah, let me look at their ins and outs. I don't think if you see like
Saliba. Arsenal just announced Saliba.
They did. So Arsenal's
on the official Twitter account. Look at this fucking. What is this fucking weird tweet? Let me send it to you. What the fuck?
At 12 o'clock, bro. Like literally on the dot. They were waiting for that.
Look at the tweet. What the fuck am I looking at right now?
What is that?
I'm gonna show it. Here's the tweet. Saliba signs. Come on, focus on the fucking thing.
All right. So Wolves, they're in and out, right? Raul Jimenez obviously got that permanent transfer from Benfica. They signed Rafael Nia from PSG. They got Den Donker from the Anderlecht, I think, on a full confirmed transfer. They're out. I gotta be honest with you, not a lot of them really surprised me. A lot of them look like, obviously they released about 6 or 7 players, so not bad. They're going to be another good team next year, I think. They'll be 6th. I think they have just enough to edge out Leicester, and I think they have a little bit more than Chelsea to be able to edge them to 6th. Uh,
And when you beat the top 6 consistently, you're gonna do well.
Here's where the argument's gonna come in. Who's your fifth?
Manchester United.
Oh, I thought you were. I wish you picked Spurs, man.
I was gonna put Spurs, but I like their window so far.
I don't think so. I have Arsenal.
Oh, all right. Well, I have fucking United.
Yeah.
If you don't sign Maguire, if you don't sign a winger, a midfielder, Bruno Fernandes, whatever, you're not finishing top 4. Wan-Bissaka, if you upgrade last year's team to only Wan-Bissaka, that's not good enough for top 4.
I would agree, but like their outs aren't that bad. Like we got rid of Antonio Valencia.
Now, what happens if Pogba leaves to Madrid?
Well, that's the thing is like there's one club that a lot of things can happen. Well, there's 2 clubs, really. I think Spurs, what's going to happen with them the last 2 weeks, and I think what's going to happen with United. They got to get the center back deal over the line. They have to get another player. They have to get at least 3 or 4 players in this window that cracks the starting 11. Daniel James, again this morning against Spurs, he was lively, exuberant, really pacey, really good fitness, but he doesn't have end product yet, and he's young. So I don't want him starting. I think a guy like Mason Greenwood is going to be really good for United this season. He's going to surprise a lot of people. He might crack into the 11 if they don't sign anyone like a winger and something like that. For me, Arsenal, if I'm looking at their starting 11, the only players that scare me out of Arsenal's team, like, still they could sell Xhaka. We're not too sure yet about that.
They're not going to sell him, in my opinion.
I think Arsenal have.
But I believe he's not in the plans to start, though.
I think Arsenal.
I believe he's not better.
To be honest, Arsenal have the second worst back 4 in the top 6.
Fact.
I think Socrates is the only thing that's good. But again, remember what happened last year is when you guys got caught up with injuries. So you were literally playing young players at center back. You were playing there was a stretch where Bellerin got hurt. Chambers got hurt, or no, Holding.
Chambers on loan.
Holding got hurt.
Socrates also was hurt.
Yes,
that's right.
Exactly. So
he got hurt against Chelsea.
Yep. So you guys are
But here's the thing: if we bring in Tierney and a center back, which is in the plan supposedly, Tierney's almost done. We look for another cheap center back option. Even with that, Chambers is back, and he had a really good preseason, in my opinion. Bellerin is back in a month. Holding is back in a month. Socrates may not be. He's a little bit finished, but not finished just yet. I think he still has a season left for us. Koscielny's out, done. Mustafi, we don't speak about him.
Kolasinac is left back, or Monreal.
Kolasinac sucks, unfortunately, and Monreal. But that's the thing. Tierney comes in, we probably sell Monreal.
Monreal's going going forward, but he's terrible defensively because he's too old.
Yes, fact. Same thing with Kolasinac.
Yeah, he's good.
They both suck defensively, which is why I like Tierney. And I know Muck and Marin's going to tell me, Tierney sucks. You get fucking whooped by Rangers, dude. Anything is better than what we have. I don't want you to tell me Kolasinac is better than Tierney because then you're just fucking being a momo.
I think the one out that they're gonna miss is Ramsey. I don't think Ceballos.
Well, we just got Ceballos.
Yeah, I don't think it's a like for like though, because Ceballos is more of like a guy that sits farther back. That's where he played for Madrid, where he distributes the ball left, right. He can play a forward pass, obviously, but Ramsey was that guy.
And that's what I think. That's what we need though, because I don't. Fair enough, Ramsey gets in the fucking box with the goals, but I don't want my fucking midfielder scoring all the goals when we have Aubameyang and Lacazette up top. Mm-hmm. I don't want that. That's so fucking unnecessary. Give me a center mid that's going to distribute for, a good portion of the game. If he needs to get forward, he gets forward. If he needs to sit back, he sits back. Sits in the fucking middle in between, let's say, Torreira and Ozil, and just fucking is like the mediator,
Mm-hmm.
Controls that middle tempo, and then get forward, get back, get forward, get back, and I feel like it'll be that'll do fucking well for us. I don't know, it's just me. I think Ramsey got forward too much, especially earlier on in his career, he would never get back on defense, which was the problem when you were playing in a double pivot, especially with Xhaka. So
I don't know. I think I knew you weren't gonna put Arsenal 5th. And you knew I wasn't going to put United 5th.
That's correct. We all have optimism going into the season.
I got to be honest with you. I genuinely think we're going to get top 4. I don't know if you genuinely think Arsenal.
And I genuinely think we're going to get top 4, yeah.
See, here's the thing.
If we sign Zaha and Tierney, fuck the center back. If we sell Zaha and Tierney, Holding comes back, Chambers is our third string, and Socrates, I take that. We bring in Saliba next season. and we build off that. Personally, I think that's good enough.
All right, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, we both have like our opposing teams as fifth. Fourth, obviously, is probably going to be you think is Arsenal. I think it's going to be United.
No, I put Spurs in fourth.
You put Arsenal third.
That's correct.
I don't know if they're going to get third. I got to be honest with you.
And listen, we were 2 games off again third this year, so I'm building off of last season, baby. What are we saying? Listen, here's the problem. Spurs. Let me justify my reasoning here. I think Spurs. I think Ndombele's a good signing. Eriksen might leave. If he goes to United, then I would honestly say United finish fourth, Spurs finish fifth. Kane, obviously quality. Lloris, he fucking blows. They have no right back. Their center backs are finished. Alderweireld, Vertonghen, and then Davinson Sanchez isn't finished because he's young. But Alderweireld and Vertonghen, finished in my opinion. This is their last season. They're done for. Done out of
Yeah.
You know, as the Brits would say. Left back, again, here comes the problem. Danny Rose is leaving. So what do you have? Ben Davies? Is that it?
Yeah.
That's a fucking problem. When you have Vertonghen as your second string left back, I don't like that. Midfield, even with Ndombele, is Wanyama and are Wanyama and Eric Dyer good enough? Again, I don't know, man. I think that the reason they were so good last year is because of Poch. Poch is obviously the reason they do so well. If they had any other manager other than Poch, I think they would be shit.
Mm-hmm.
I like their strike force. Kim and Son is obviously good.
Lucas Moura off the
bench.
But
look at Arsenal, man. You got a good attack. It doesn't mean you're getting fucking. It doesn't mean you're doing so well. Lucas Moura, exactly. So, especially if they lose Eriksen, they won't be finishing top 4. Sorry. But we'll see. I think Spurs finish fourth. I do think Arsenal finish third. That's me being optimistic, but I can also
let's point that out.
I can also back it up. I think, in my opinion,
that's being optimistic, right? Because I'm being optimistic with United finishing fourth.
We're all being optimistic.
We both
I'm
have
always
good
optimistic.
preseason so far. That's why we have things to be excited about. Young players that are playing well.
Yep.
Formation that
young
looks
players
decent.
growing up. And Nketiah, Bukayo Saka. You got
Mason
fucking Greenwood and all those guys. Yeah,
exactly.
So it's been exciting, man. Like when I went to the game, we played really well until we took the main guys off, and obviously Real Madrid started to pump us when our youngsters came on and when Bale and Marcelo came on, which I want to just get into real quick. The disrespect towards Bale is crazy because he's probably their best player right now. Marcelo is the greatest left back of all time, and I want to hear anything otherwise. That dude can do shit that I've honestly never seen half of the fucking attackers that I've watched in my life. 95% of the attackers that I watch in my life can't do the shit Marcelo does. Mm-hmm. You know, he can't defend. I honestly don't see a problem with his defending. He's a left back. He's a left wing back. He's meant to get forward. He plays for Real Madrid. They're not going to have a defensive left back. That's for fucking teams like Burnley, you know, and Arsenal. But I love Marcel. When he came on, he was right in front of my face, man. I was shitting it. But yeah, you know, like you said, with the preseason, it's looking promising, man. I'm being optimistic, but I also think we can do it. I wouldn't be surprised if United finished fourth or third. You know,
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Spurs finished
third. I think third, fourth, and fifth is up for grabs. I believe between 3 teams. I think it's gonna be. It really is, man.
I think we're all even. If you look at the teams, I think we are all even.
Yeah, we all have our own.
You know,
flaws.
Spurs have probably a better, you know, as they're actually now thinking about it, last year they had a better defense than all of us, but do they have a better defense than us? I think we all have a evenly shit defense.
If United
even
Sanchez
is
if United signs McGuire, it'll be a better back four now. It'll be
and if we sign Tierney and a center back, which
exactly,
you know,
our back fours get instantly better because Wan-Bissaka is a huge upgrade.
McGuire, but who have Spurs been linked to? Exactly, who have Spurs been linked to for their back line? I've not seen a single thing. All I see is them being linked to midfielders. So that feels a problem for Spurs, man. So I feel like we're all equally as shit at the back. I think, honestly, you can edge both of our midfielders to Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
If Eriksen leaves. Because Eric Dyer and Wanyama are honestly not better than Xhaka. And Xhaka is fucking horrific. And they're not better than Matic. You know, they're all equally bad on their own level, but are they better than those guys? Probably not. And Ndombele is probably up there better than Fred, maybe uneven with Torreira. That's me being biased, but he's probably better than Torreira. Mm-hmm. And then obviously Eriksen, who is good. We all like him, but we have Ceballos and Ozil. You guys have Pogba and fucking they have Ericsson. So it kind of is like for like. And then they have a better attack? I mean, you guys probably have the worst attack out of all three of us.
I think on our day we're really good, but there's like
on your day,
it's like 50-50 like how we think we're gonna go forward. Like Martial through the striker right now has looked really good in preseason. That's where he's had his best season in any United shirt. AM9, get him back. I'm pointing right to my fucking frame. Get him back.
Poster. I mean,
fucking hell, man.
Jersey.
Zlatan came in the following season and fucking took his brand away. I'll never forgive Zlatan for that. The fucking cunt.
That's the funniest shit I've ever seen.
He started a fucking brand of AM9, then he got taken away the second year. Let's move on to obviously. We're not going to go too much in depth. Obviously, everyone knows.
Because this is about as easy as it gets. Conrad. If you think City and Liverpool are not finishing in the top two, you're just delusional. I don't care who wins and who doesn't. You can debate that on your own because it's very, very like for like. Mm-hmm. But if you think they're finishing anywhere but 1 and 2, I don't think you should watch football anymore, honestly.
I also put 5 things. So yeah, so you have Man City win the Premier League?
I meant to in the Premier League.
So do I. I think they're going to go back to back to back, which would be the first time since United did it.
Listen. Yeah.
I think 2009 to 2011, I believe. That was last time.
Yeah, listen, man. Klopp already said Liverpool don't have the funds that they do like they did last year. I think that comes down to their American owners. I think they ran out of cash. Coutinho's transfer still hasn't been paid. Barca are in debt to them, which I'm not shocked because Barca are classless. Mm-hmm. Fuck you, Ali, if you're listening to this. I think Liverpool don't have the money to spend. Do they need to spend it anywhere? One midfielder is about all they need. So it's not like they're worried. I know they were actually linked to Bale. Klopp said that's not happening. Mm-hmm. Why would that fucking happen anyway? Bruno Fernandes, man, that if they have a little bit of fucking spare cash, you never know.
They don't. Klopp came out and said they're not going to pay for anyone above Shaqiri's fee last year, which was 13 mil.
Ooh, he did say that?
Okay. He also said that
I didn't know he said that exact number. I didn't know he said that.
He also said, well, he didn't say 13 mil, obviously, but he said he's not going to sign anyone above Shaqiri last year. Yeah. That was yesterday when they played Sporting. He also said he hopes Bruno Fernandes doesn't go to United because obviously somebody that knows the fucking game, Ed Woodward, wake up, bro. Get him in the fucking team, bro. Oh, man.
He's so good. All right,
I've done 5 things here because we need to quick fire, right? Last 10 minutes of the podcast. I want to do top scorer, clean sheets, PFA Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year, and surprise signing.
Oh, fuck me. All right, okay. This is tough, man. All right, Jesus Christ.
Top scorer. Top scorer last year was Aubameyang.
No, Aubameyang, Mane, Salah, they shared it.
Yes, exactly. I think healthy.
I'm gonna say straight up. I think Aubameyang wins again.
I don't think so.
I think he does. If we sign Zaha, he's gonna have crazy service.
I'm gonna link my top scorer and my surprise signing all in one, and I think you'll catch on to what I'm pointing out here. Top scorer in the Prem for me, I think actually, you know what? Sergio Aguero. It's time to get your golden boot back, buddy.
Okay, I rate that. I could see that happening. Yeah.
City are gonna keep scoring goals. They're unstoppable.
Yeah, they're crazy. Yeah, you're right.
I think clean sheets. I'm going Man City again. I'm going Ederson. He's going to continue to get better.
I'm going to go Alisson. I think Liverpool will keep.
They have a better back four, to be fair. I'm going to go Ederson just because I think Man City are just gonna. I think Man City.
It's one or the other.
Man City are starting to get that fear factor that United used to have, where teams will literally just bend over for them, like we said before. They're like you can't do anything, because if you open up against Man City, then they can hurt you like crazy because you have De Bruyne, you have Jesus, you have Aguero, Bernardo Silva, Sterling, Sane, the Mahrez. You have the amount of options they have at their disposal is ridiculous. If you look at Liverpool's depth, it is not the same thing. They have Origi and Shaqiri coming off the bench. Man City have one of Sane and Mahrez coming off the bench. It's just the quality is not even in the same question. What do you think about the PFA Player of the Year?
Fuck
It has to be.
Give me a second.
It has to be for the. Doesn't it have to be for the title-winning team?
No, Van Dijk won.
I don't think it's gonna be Van Dijk again. I think.
And Salah won, obviously, when he finished 4th. I don't think it's gonna be Van Dijk again either. No. I think that was kind of. Obviously, he was the best player of the Prem. I think we can all say that. But I think that was kind of he was a little bit more hyped because he was a defender.
Yeah.
Not to say he's not the best defender in the world and not the best player in the Prem, possibly. You know what? I'm going to go with Bernardo Silva.
I was thinking about it. I don't know if he's going to get the same goals and assists to be able to get the PFA Player of the Year.
I think he's going to have a huge year.
It depends on Kevin De Bruyne's
crazy
health.
Numbers, personally.
It depends.
Yeah, it does. It does. But I think that Pep is going to deploy him practically every game. Kind of like the David Silva situation earlier on. Like, David Silva practically played every game for him.
I think Sterling
in Pep's first and second season.
I think Sterling this
Sterling
year.
is a front runner.
He got Young Player of the Year last year. So
yeah.
Who do you think is going to be Young Player of the Year? Because it doesn't have to be
Young Player of the fucking
has to be
year.
below 23, right? You have to be.
I believe you have to be below 23 by the time the Prem starts. So if you're like, yeah, I think it's 23.
It's not going to be anyone on Chelsea. It's not going to be anyone on Liverpool.
Nah.
It's not going to be anyone. It could.
Wait, how old is Trent?
That's a good shout, actually. And Robertson as well.
I think Robertson's 24. Trent's 20. That's my guess right there.
That's mine as
Trent
well.
was Young Player of the Year.
That's mine too. And that's because I don't want to go full City and make myself look like I'm not a United fan. But, like, I think City are going to wipe the floor with a lot of these awards this year.
Yeah.
And obviously there will be, like, a surprise name that gets put into it. All right, surprise signing. I already know what I'm doing. Eriksen to United.
Oh, I have one as well. Surprise signing in the Prem, right?
Yes.
Nicolas Pepe to Arsenal.
Oh, man.
If we don't get Zaha, I think it's Pepe. I think that will shock everyone.
But, like, the same logic that was used for United to not get Pepe would still be the same logic you would use to not go to Arsenal, is that they don't have... Like Pepe said in April, he wouldn't go to a team that doesn't have Champions League.
Yeah, but here's the thing with Pepe also said. Pepe said he wants to go to a stepping stool club, not go to the main one straight away.
Oh, okay.
So that's why he denied Liverpool. And you know what? Yesterday, you know how I told you he agreed personal terms to United?
Yeah.
Agent came out today, said that that's a fake news.
Of course that's fake news. Here's the thing. I think a lot of reports, and we're gonna wrap this up, but I think a lot of reports, here's the thing. Here's what, like, journalists do. Someone like Sky Sports today ruled out a move for Bruno Fernandes, right? But then the MEN, Manchester Evening News, came out and said a move is unlikely, but United could still revisit it later in the window. Which means what they do is they cover every base. So they cover why he's not coming and then why he is coming. So when they do, either he doesn't come or he does come, then the journalist can say, look, I got this right. Look, I'm credible, stuff like that. Even by saying, like, a guy agreed personal terms, you could say that, and that would never come out. But, like, the teams might not agree the fee, so you would still look like, yeah, he did agree terms. But you can also say, look, the two clubs didn't agree on the transfer fee, so obviously the deal fell through. There's so many deals that have fallen through at the last minute. I don't know if you remember a couple years ago, I think it was Ross Barkley was supposed to go to Chelsea, and then on the last day or in the last minutes, he just left the medical. He just left the training ground. All of a sudden, went back to Everton.
And then he sat on the bench for the rest of the season, pretty much.
And then he went
half the season.
Exactly, and then he went back, obviously, the following year to Chelsea. But it's gonna be a fun season. I think I have more optimism now than I did towards the end of last season.
I agree.
Here's the thing: we get so rejuvenated in the summer. We get excited. We're so
it's
depressed,
like a break,
man.
and then you go. It's the adrenaline, man. It goes straight back at it.
Oh, it's gonna be a fucking grind in the fucking winter, but it's gonna be fun, man. I can't wait for football to return, man. I made a tweet a couple like 2 days ago. I was like, I can't wait for the Prem to start, man. Like.
Yeah, fuck this. I'm actually gonna watch a lot of not non-league, but like League One because it starts a little earlier. It starts a week before us, so I'm gonna watch the Plymouth game and so wherever the fuck they're playing because of Pi, because connection, you know.
All right,
but let's do biggest flop. Last one, biggest flop.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna write that down. Biggest flop and biggest upcoming name. Actually, my biggest.
Okay, so like most underrated, pretty much coming into the season.
I would say just newcomer of the year or something like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm gonna say Mason Greenwood.
Biggest flop. Oh, newcomer Mason Greenwood.
Yeah, he's a young player.
Yeah, I'm gonna say probably.
Nketiah, is he
Ceballos.
gonna get there?
I'm gonna say Ceballos.
No?
I think he's gonna have a huge year.
Okay.
And biggest flop for me, I'm going Harry Kane. I think he's gonna have a shit season. and that's just not because of my hatred for Spurs. It just for something about him that's going downhill, and I can't put my fucking finger on it. I can't.
I'm putting Dele Alli. I'm putting Dele Alli.
Dele Alli's been I fucking hate that guy anyway. Fuck him.
I think he's gonna be really bad this year. I think there's gonna be more pressure on him. There's gonna be more pressure on him if Eriksen leaves to feed Kane. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if he can't, do like the business, then I think there's gonna be a lot of criticism.
But here's the problem with Ali. He's not like that attacking mid kind of thing. He's more of like a shadow striker, in which he goes and scores goals from the midfield like Ramsey. So
maybe not Dele Alli. I mean, I can't do anyone on Liverpool.
I don't think there's gonna be a flop on Liverpool.
I don't think so either. I
really think Kane, man. There's something about Kane that's just really... I don't know if it's the way he's acting recently. He's being a little selfish recently. I know he scored that goal in preseason. Preseason doesn't matter. Yaya Sanogo scored 4 goals in 1 game in preseason once.
I'll do Dele Alli. Fuck it. I'll do that.
Yeah. All right. You should tweet that and ask people their opinions.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching today. That's basically like it's about an hour and 15 minutes. Not too bad. I'll get this out recorded, edited and stuff, and we'll be out with another podcast. Probably we'll record. When do you want to record? Probably this weekend at some point or Monday.
Yeah, like maybe like Monday or so.
Yeah, so we'll do like Monday
after the weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. So, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it if you guys got all the way to this point. Leave a like and comment if you guys are new. Appreciate it, and yeah, have a good one. Peace.